Hi there guys, so I've just had a question about how to back up your WordPress website. So if you're going to update to the latest version of WordPress 3.6 at the moment, or for any other reason, if you're doing some work on your site, I would always recommend that you do a backup first. I'm just going to really quickly show you now how easy it is to back up your website so that you've got it secure. And I'd recommend doing this anyway. I mean, regardless if you're going to do an update, always make sure you've got a backup. You know, you can be protected to a certain degree, but you always should have a backup so that if things do go wrong, then at least you can revert back to a version within the near past. So I would always recommend, depending on how often you update your blog or update your website, to schedule at least once a week, once every 2 weeks, at the minimum once a month to back up your website. So to do that, we're going to use a free plugin. I'm going to show you how to do this now. From your dashboard, as you log into your WordPress admin area, come down to plugins, and we're going to add a new plugin. From here, we're going to type in back WP up. Now there's two plugins I would recommend. As a free version, I would recommend this, back WP up. If you wanted to use a paid plugin, then I would recommend a plugin called Backup Buddy. Now, the two plugins both work very well. Now, one of the things that I would say, and I'm just going on here now so that I can check the price, because I don't actually know how much Backup Buddy is. There you go. So if you want it on 2 licenses, it's $80, or for an unlimited developer's license, $150. So if you do have that, I would recommend getting that, but as a free version so that you're secure, back WP up. And you can see here by the ratings, 4 stars, it's got 444 ratings. It's a good solid plugin, version number 3, so it's been updated quite a lot, so they do keep on top of it. Now, one of the things I would say, because there are so many different backup plugins out there, is to consider the fact that it's okay if a plugin says it's backed your website up, but how often do you actually test that backup to ensure that it's working? I had a plugin once where I downloaded a website. I went to reinstall because I had a bug with the site, and that plugin actually failed. Although it told me it backed up the website, it actually failed, and the backup was corrupt. So always ensure that you're using a reputable source for your backups. Okay, so this plugin's now installed. We're going to activate the plugin. And this is it. So you're going to see here, there's a lot of information you can go through. I'm going to skip right through this at the moment because you don't need to worry about it. Again, you can get a free or a paid version for this. We're just going to use the free version. Don't worry that it doesn't contain this stuff here. We don't need this. For what we need, we're just going to go straight to the dashboard here. Okay, so on the dashboard, the first thing it's going to say is download your database and get a backup of your database. We're going to do this now just by clicking on this button to make sure that we have a backup of our database, and that will back it up to our hard drive. So we've now got a copy of the database, we know that's secured. What we're going to do now is add a new job. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is we're going to tell that we want to back up the database. We also want to do a file backup of all the FTP files. You can also do an XML export and your plugin list. I won't worry about optimizing the database or checking the database tables. You don't need to do that. Give it a name that you want it to back up. I just leave this as it is. And then where would you like it to back up? So you can back up to a folder on your computer, have it sent by email. I wouldn't recommend this for big websites. Back up to FTP. This is okay, but do not back up to your server that your website is on. If your server goes down and you lose your website, you'll lose your backup. So always keep it off-site. Dropbox is a great example. Amazon S3, set up a bucket and then just have your downloads going in there. Peace of mind that if you ever need them, you know where they are. Rackspace or SugarSync, there's other options. So for now, we're just going to literally choose folder. And what you'll notice as well is when you click on one of these options up here, you'll get a new box appear at the top. This just lets you configure these options. So you can now click on the folder, for example. And this will tell you where you want to download that, or if you go to Dropbox, it'll ask you to sync and to re-authenticate yourself with that account. So once you've chosen your destination, you come down, set an email address for any log files, save the changes. Once that's done, come across the schedule at the top, Okay, and you either set this manually, so you have to back the site up yourself. Set it to work with a WordPress cron, which I would recommend. You may need to go into your cPanel and activate your cron listing. There's plenty of YouTube videos. You can Google how to do that. But I would set your cron on whether you want it weekly, monthly, daily and hourly is a bit excessive, but depending on your site, I would definitely go for weekly, if not monthly option. Or you can do it with a link, so every time you go on, just click that link and that will back your site up for you. Okay, so that's it. Once you've done that, you can also choose through the settings. There's certain things you can set up with the backup, as in how many it keeps. So you can choose if you want. I normally keep 12 backups. So after a year, I'll start overwriting, so I don't use up too much space. But you can set everything up there, and you've got all the information you need, including API keys and everything else within here. Once your jobs have been saved, they'll appear here. You can run them now, so that they run, and you can also go in and you can see all of your sites once they've been backed up. So I would highly recommend that to be the way that you would back up your WordPress website. It's very easy, a free way to be able to do that and to be able to ensure that all of your information is secure.